How's the angle of the dangle for you boys today? It is Pwn, and we are cracking out a nice little domination gameplay here with the Galil with the double mags, that dual mags, and I love jungle. I honestly have the jungle fever, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it in this gameplay actually, and you guys go like, oh wow. And some of this I've talked about in other commentaries, but some of it I haven't. So you guys are going to get a little bit of history here on your favorite commentator about my jungle fever condition. Now, I mentioned this like in a commentary a while back, and I said, oh damn, so-and-so's got jungle fever. And people flipped out like it was a racist fucking remark. Guys, the simple idea behind jungle fever, the basic definition of it is an interracial couple. You know, like a white man or a white woman, like in a black woman or a black man, or hell, man, it could be a black dude and a white dude. It doesn't matter, but that's usually the typical one. But actually, it's supposed to be any race, whether or not it's Latino or whatever, that has something, you know, is sexually attracted or, you know, something like that to a black person. You know, so I guess it has to be a black person no matter what, but then the other race doesn't matter. But that's what jungle fever is, and just to prove it to you, I've got a little definition of it right now. I went up on UrbanDictionary.com to make sure I wasn't racist, because you know how I got to defend myself because I'm white. Automatically, I got to make sure I'm not being racist about everything I do. I got to tiptoe around everything. So here we go. All right, now here we go. As you can tell, I got my sites, my sources. I did my research. Here we go. Jungle fever, a terrible syndrome that has afflicted many Caucasian women. They have some type of unfinished business with their fathers, which make them crave the black man's meat stick. This typically results in the eventual death of the subject. Size really does matter to these overweight, stringy-haired sugar mamas. They generally work in human resource-type jobs. As an example, oh my god, Ellen has jungle fever. Did you see her walking bow-legged when that Tyrone guy brought her back from lunch? Right there, you heard it from me first, guys. Perfect example. That's what jungle fever is. Now, does Pwn have it? I used to have a mild case of it. Now, if you guys do not know too much about me, I did grow up not having, like, any white friends. I didn't know white people. The only thing available to me were black people. So, you know, and it's not, like, meant in any sort of, you know, degrading term. I mean, all of my friends were black. To this day, most of my friends are black. And all the women that I was around were black. So it's not like, you know, that I'm being picky or, oh no, that's all I can settle for. You know, there's nothing wrong with like white girls, black girls, anything like that. And I know there's stereotypes. I'd be at school and, you know, and the black guys would, you know, they'd be asking me questions like I'd automatically know what my people would do. And they'd be like, man, I heard white bitches give better head. And I'm like, what's a white bitch? And it's like so I didn't know anything about that. So growing up, I guess my first few like experiences with girls, my first few girlfriends were all black. I think my first 3 girlfriends were black. And then I went to high school in this Catholic school and met white people for the first time. So it's proof they do exist. And I had no clue. So my first few girlfriends were crazy, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit. The first one, I don't even remember her name, and I think that it was intentionally. Now, my first actual experience with a girl, like the first time I was ever kissed, I was basically raped. Yeah, I mean, without like sex being involved, but I know what the violation feels like. So it's like, I was sleeping one day, and I was kind of like watching over my friend's house. His mom won like some Caribbean vacation. Those things actually fucking exist too. So she went on vacation. She was gone, and her kids are like my best friends at the time. They were my age. They just couldn't cook for shit. So for like 2 weeks, I just basically house sat with them, made the food and stuff like that. And you know, they had this other woman, you know, one of the family friends that would come over. She was like 20 at the time. I was like 15. I don't fucking know. And, you know, so I wake up one time, it's like 5 in the morning, and this girl was laying right on top of me going to town having fun, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. So I guess that was my first experience with a girl. I was, I don't know, 13, 14, 15, something like that. And that was the first one, kind of scarred me a little bit, and after that, the only girls I actually knew were black girls. So I dated a couple of them. One of them was, her name was Sophia, spelled S-A-F-I-Y-A. Her name was Sophia. She was a very nice girl, and this was a girl like she's a sweetheart, gray body, beautiful girl, but the case was she was too successful. Like, I would have felt bad if I would have dated this girl because I would have held her back. Like, she had like a scholarship for softball, basketball, fucking badminton, whatever else there is. She had a scholarship for it. This girl was going places, and I was just, you know, skipping class every day. I was a very, very bad and negative influence on everyone. And I don't know what it was about women, you know. I don't find myself to be an attractive guy. I mean, I guess I'm decent or whatever, but I'm not like a hot guy. So I don't know what it was about women that liked me in high school. I don't know if it's just because, ooh, look at rare white meat. Let me get some of that shit. And I don't know what it was. So something about me being extremely shy and cut off from the world was really attractive to these women. And a very, very most attractive girl in the school, the hottest girl, Nyjah. Yeah, you're like, what? Yeah, Nyjah. Nyjah was, she was, you know, I thought she was a lesbian the first time. She was with this girl for a year that I was there. I came back from Christmas break one day, and she's like, you gonna date me? And I'm like, what? And I said no because I just thought she was joking around because I never knew she was actually with dudes, but it turns out she was bi. And I'm like, when, right? Most attractive black girl I've ever met in my life, like no lie. And I said no, and just like the Sophia thing, it's not because I bitched out. It's just because I knew her friends. I was really close with them and the other girl, and I wasn't going to do that to another friend. You know what I mean? Because her girlfriend at the time was a friend of mine, so I was just dirty. But Sophia, I didn't date specifically because she was a senior. She was a year ahead of me, and she was supposed to be going off to like some college somewhere. Man, I could have mooched off her or whatever. You know what I mean? And she was a beautiful girl, but I wasn't going to do that. I didn't want to hold her back, so I said no for that. And I know it's kind of like weird or whatever. And then there was another girl. Her name was Paris. And she had a thing for me. I mean, it was whatever. But I never, did anything with that. She wouldn't date me because I wasn't sexually experienced. She was like, I love to ride dick. So unless you fucked, and she gave me a limit. She was like, you know what? If you want to hook up with me, by the time May comes around, a month before school's over, if you fucked 4 chicks in the next 3 months, we can get together. And I'm like, God damn, I gotta hit this quota. No, it's like, but seriously, she did that. So I mean, she was the sweetest girl in the world. But apparently, sex is big to some of these women. So I don't know if that's just a girl thing or what. I've never heard of women like just demanding experience and shit out of guys. And I'm like, damn, she put the pressure on me and the hotness. So of course I flaked out on that, and I went home and cried and masturbated all over myself. But that was my first experience. Most of the girls I knew, the first ones I dated were black, and I don't know any difference between that. I think I've only had 2 white girlfriends and 3, I guess, black girlfriends. I mean, I did see them for a little while, but that's about it. And I guess I can get into another story, I guess. I dated I didn't date. I mean, we dated, but we weren't in a relationship. We dated for a couple weeks, a month or so, my boss's old daughter. And the one I was telling you about, the whole gay bar story. So I dated her for a couple weeks, and she was cool and all. I mean, she wasn't the most attractive girl in the world, but she was nice. And that's about the best I could say for her. She was pretty cool. She lasted, about so, and I ended up bailing on her. She ended up talking to some other dude or whatever, and then she went lesbian. Right? So, I had to work with my boss, and we were like, he was gay too, but he was like one of the guys, we joke around. So he's like, God damn it, for you turning my daughter a lesbian. And, I'd always get shit at work, right? Now, that was the ongoing joke, that I was so bad that I made his daughter go lesbian. And it's just like, oh my God, it was embarrassing. So I guess those were a couple of my embarrassing stories. I made a girl go lesbian. I got raped. That was my first kissing experience. And I dated 3 black chicks. And yeah, that's about it, guys. So that's been my little story. Hopefully you enjoyed the story time with Poe and the nice little gameplay. I will try to get some more up for you guys. Remember to leave a rating. It helps out a lot. And I couldn't get in this chopper gunner because that asshole little attack helicopter up there. But at the end of the day, I can't wait for Black Ops 2. I'm going to be posting up some of this gameplay. Look forward to an objective one coming up in the next couple days. I like playing the OBJ hard. I didn't do much in this gameplay, but it was basically one of those effects, chain reaction things. Kill streak after kill streak. So I had to keep calling them in, you know what I mean? It's just what happened. We ended up winning by a decent amount, so it's not too big a deal. I didn't play the objective too much, but I did, I guess, suppress them with the kill streak, so I made a difference. At the end of the day, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and just calm down. Calm down. And yes, white bitches get better head. What? What? Fact.